I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Friday.
1 hour closer to the weekend.
Glad to have him live in studio with us. Wayne from the Gun Room is going to be joining us. And I haven't asked you ahead of time, but would you be interested in taking calls if people had Second Amendment questions and gun questions and stuff
certainly.
Like that? Yeah. All right, there you go. We were just going to talk guns and how great the Gun Room is, but now I'm sitting here going, people may have questions about firearms. Well, we've got a pro here. We got a pro right here that can answer those questions. So feel free to jump in 303-696-1971 or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Now it's time for the news.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning. Friday, 48 and sunny in Denver, 49 in the Springs. Expecting highs in the low 60s today up and down the Front Range. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story.
They go, you're getting money from outside of Colorado. I'm like, yeah, dingbat. It's actually Coloradans who moved out. Now they want their state back.
Hey, if you're using dingbats, I'm listening. Victor Marks running for governor in Colorado, on with Jeff and Billy last hour. Marks' team has surpassed the $1 million mark as the campaign continues to raise cash. Their recovery tour continues and coming to a location near you.
We're going to be in Golden on February 13th, Greeley on the 18th, Westminster on the 19th, Denver on the 20th, Pueblo 22nd, and Thornton on the 25th. What people don't realize is we've done over 80 events since we started. We've been throttling, and it's been great.
And Victor reminded us during the interview that Colorado's state motto is nothing without God's will. Amen. Continue to pray for change in our beautiful state. Will it ever happen? We'll see. An investigation is underway after possible human remains were found Thursday near a drainage pond by Pinello Ranch in unincorporated El Paso County. Cassandra Sebastian is with the sheriff's office.
We don't have any information that would determine if it's criminal, but when you find human remains, it's always suspicious.
Well, you got that right. A Colorado Springs utilities worker reported the discovery off Highway 85. Patty Fox in studio with Jeff and Bill actually a couple hours ago, and her story has gone viral. Her 22-year-old daughter, Carissa, was hit by an illegal who just blew through a light on Parker and 225 and left her severely disabled. The Venezuelan lady fled the scene. She hasn't been sentenced yet. And, is just walking out there freely. But the felony only carries a maximum 3-year sentence. She was driving without a license, insurance, and didn't, give a thought to helping out. Heartbreaking for Patty Fox.
There's no justice. There's nothing that can make what happened okay. 3 years maximum for a lifetime. My daughter did not die, but her life is forever altered.
Stop the chaos, please. This is what it brings. We have enough problems with just citizens doing this type of garbage. Don't need more problems. Local law enforcement in southern Arizona says its non-emergency line is being flooded with calls they're not looking for. The Pima County Sheriff's Department says people have been calling, expressing their thoughts and prayers for the family of Nancy Guthrie. They say it's critical for the line to remain open for law enforcement purposes. Meantime, the search continues for Guthrie, who has been missing since Sunday. I
Yes,
don't
it
have
is.
problems. Yeah, sorry. I like Kid Rock, and he'll headline Turning Point USA's alternative to the Super Bowl halftime show.
I've seen him
this
live
weekend.
several times. He is fantastic live.
Is he?
Regardless of politics, dude puts on a
Yeah.
great show. I'm just saying, little dated possibly if you're doing this kind of event here. But
Yeah.
he is. I've seen him multiple times live. He's entertaining. I
I
can't
think
knock
he's-
his stage show.
Yeah, I think he's very likable. Here he is talking about that show.
We're just going to go play for our base, people who love America, love football, love Jesus, and it's pretty much that simple.
I love it. We're going to do predictions in just a second, but Pro Football Hall of Famer and former Redskins quarterback, Sonny Jurgensen. Sonny Jurgensen, love this dude. He just died at the age of 91. The team announced the NFL champion passed away on Friday. Did not know that. Jurgensen played 11 seasons of his 18-year career. 18 years with Washington after being drafted by the Eagles in 1957. And I love that dude, man, because he had a pot belly and he could still play. It was the
He gives me
glory
hope.
days
Yes.
of the NFL. Absolutely. What's that, Billy?
It gives me hope.
Yes,
I'm a huge
absolutely.
fan of NFL. Any sport that can have portly men participating as starters, I'm a big fan.
That's right. So a Hall of Famer passes away, Sonny Jurgensen. All right, predictions. Let's start with Billy. What do you think's going to happen, Billy, in the Super Bowl?
As long as the Patriots lose, I'm fine with anything else. I don't care because a record is going to be set this Sunday at the big game. That the Patriots will either, after this, have won the most Super Bowls or lost the most Super Bowls. Let's root for a loser. Let's go for the loser. I can't stand Patriots fans. And I love you, Joe from Arvada. I know you're a Patriots fan. But I would love to have you guys in the losing column this weekend.
Okay, so you're going to go with Seattle by 3 touchdowns.
Oh, I hope it's 55. I don't care. I don't care if it's 1 point or 55 points. I just need the loss for the Patriots.
Love it. Jeff, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, boy. Seattle by 90.
Wow. You're going to score 90 points, huh?
I think this is going to be a blowout.
Do you?
I don't think it's going to be even close. I don't know. You got to ask Wayne, though. He's in studio. Wayne with the
Wayne.
You have to vote against the Patriots. I mean, the Broncos should be in the Super Bowl, guys.
Yes, they should be.
So Wayne thinks the Patriots are going to win. You guys say
No.
Oh, I didn't hear what he
voted
said.
against the Patriots. Anybody but the Patriots.
Yes.
So you believe the Seahawks will win. So three for the Patriots say they're going to win. I'm going to say there's going to be a huge upset. The Pats, let's go with 34-31. Patriots will beat the Seahawks. They're not supposed to, but we'll
I'm also
see what
pulling for my low-key winner of the game is Giant Meteor. I'm looking for a Giant Meteor to just smash the entire field. I don't want anybody in the stands to get hurt. But if the Seahawks and the Patriots don't exist after Sunday, I'm fine with that. Because I still remember my Super Bowl Seahawks fans. Still remember that one.
All right, don't forget, take a walk at halftime. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a half hour and just walk around the neighborhood.
Oh, turning
I'm not gonna watch it.
points.
No,
Billy,
I'm not
so
watch it.
you have the entire
support that.
spectrum here.
Yes.
Billy's going to watch Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Bad Bunny.
Bash America and wear a dress and wear some ice out thing.
I hope he wears a dress. I'm hoping because everybody losing their minds after
would.
that. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
God.
Oh, yeah.
If he does.
I've told the story about what happened to me in 7th grade. So, yeah, that's
If
right
he
up my
wears a
alley.
dress, he better not take his top off.
That's fantastic.
Blake's going to go for a walk. I'm going to watch
Yeah.
Turning Point. Wayne, what are you going to watch during halftime?
Turning point.
Turning
Most
Point.
definitely.
There you go.
Okay.
He's a true.
Now, Turning Point fans out there, those that want to watch that, just a tiny, tiny, tiny little tip. Since it is available on stream only, go to that app and sign in and set up your account early. You do not want to be doing that
you
during
watch
the
it on
halftime
YouTube?
of Super Bowl.
Can't you watch it on
I
YouTube?
don't
I don't
think so far. I haven't seen YouTube be one of them. So go find on their listed advertisement, bottom left corner, there are the available streams. Find one
Good
of them
advice.
first. Do it today or tomorrow so you don't have to worry about it Sunday. I'm just giving you a little bit of tip. Even though I'm not watching it, I'm just trying to help out.
No, that's a good tip. I did get an email, a lament email from folks that said, "What's happening to America? We used to have something that could unite us, and it was the Super Bowl, and now we're divided." And I read the email, and it dawned on me, this couldn't be more American.
Oh, absolutely
right
it
now.
is.
than to divide up and go to our own little corners out of an effort to send a message to everybody else.
Yeah.
Now, you know?
I know Blake will like this one. I'm still hearkening back to those old school Super Bowl halftime shows. I'm talking real old school. I'm talking, we're going way back. You know, when they used to restage historic battles on the field during halftime. That's what I want. Let me get that. Give me some of that.
I want one of those.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Early on, they did battle recreations. I want that again.
See, to me, this is just quintessential America. And it's not because, I think there's a good component of this that's not because we embrace these artists. Like at Turning Point, I don't even know the other three. I know Kid Rock. But it's to
that might
send
be the worst
a
one of
message.
the three. But
Right?
I like Kid Rock.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
think about that dynamic. I am going to send a message to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, that is quintessentially American.
Yeah, it is.
Can I speak to the manager, please? That's what's happening during the Super Bowl halftime show.
I love that.
Because if you're Bad Bunny, he's going to send the ice out message. If you're a conservative, you're watching Turning Point to send a message. And maybe you're like Blake, you're just mad at everybody, so I'm sending a message to them. It is quintessential, can I speak to the manager happening.
And one last tip to all of the Jeff and Bill listeners. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a hint. I got kind of an inside line, a rumor. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm going to rumor. But if you want to appear to be one of the smartest and most in-touch people during your Super Bowl celebration, if and only if you're doing the Bad Bunny thing, just mention that there may be some other really big celebrity performers coming up. I'm hearing through the grapevine, again, only rumors, that both Ricky Martin and Lady Gaga are going to be involved. So I'm just saying, if you drop
that changes things for me.
I'm not saying watch it. No, I'm just saying that if you're at a house, if you're at a house or an event, if you're at a house or an event, I'm just saying this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to help you out.
I hear you.
I'm saying if you're at a house or an event and they are going to watch the Bad Bunny halftime show, I'm just saying you have the entire first half to just casually mention, I got a feeling. I think that this may happen.
Can you bet on this?
Saying.
I think with online betting, you might be able to bet on this and then make some money.
Oh, crap. Now I'm so much in trouble. You've gotten me in trouble. I now have to show you.
I may look at that.
Yeah. Now, real quick, Blake, is there a Candace Owens halftime show?
You know what? I actually may listen to a few things from her during halftime while I'm walking.
Actually, there is, but it's entirely imaginary.
Whatever.
It's like when Pete and I and Jeff do the imaginary Thanksgiving Day parade. Same thing. She describes all the things that she thinks are happening.
The Egyptian show.
Yes.
The Egyptian airplane show.
Yes, exactly.
You can believe the slop if you want to.
They do the flyover, and then we've got.
You can believe it if you want to. You can believe everything coming your way.
I need the men that emerge out of the bushes. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's right. Hey, good luck to Chad Muma from Parker, number 49 for the Patriots. You never know.
Number one in your hearts.
You never know. He could block a field goal. He could make a huge tackle, force a fumble. So Chad Muma playing for the Patriots this weekend. So congratulations to him. Nuggets at the Bulls tomorrow. DU and CC Hockey tonight. Drop the puck at 7. 30. What is it? What is it? 48. Wow. 48 in the Springs in Denver. More of the Jeff and Bill Show coming up on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver, and now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The Answer in Colorado Springs, all along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Is it springtime in the Rockies? Well, it'll certainly feel that way here in the days ahead, with unseasonably warm temperatures taking us through the weekend and into Monday, with temperatures well into the 60s for highs, nighttime lows mostly in the 30s, some high and mid-level clouds at times, not much wind, very pleasant spring-like weather through Monday. We will see increasingly cloudy skies Monday night and Tuesday, and along the Front Range, and especially into the mountains. We're going to start to see some developing rain and snow showers in the plains and developing mountain snow as we work our way into late Monday night, but especially for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And a trend towards colder temperatures for Denver and Colorado Springs will be developing Tuesday through Thursday as well, as this big high-pressure system that's overhead now finally gives way and allows some Pacific fronts to move in, changing our weather as we get to middle to the end of next week. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
So excited to have with us on the Jeff and Bill Show all along the Front Range, Wayne with the Gun Room. I love this store. Got a chance to go down and check out the Gun Room in Lakewood. And what I learned about Wayne, because we promote people on this show that we know, that we support, that we're not just paid protesters, paid agitators, as some would critique us, that just go wherever the dollars are. We want to get behind people that are good in this community. Wayne is a great man of faith. He is a man that loves this Constitution, and he's putting up with all the craziness that's coming from the state capitol with regards to the ability to own a gun. So you got to go to denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com, or give them a call at 303-237-1300. Again, that number, 303-237-1300. But most people go to those big box stores to buy a firearm, and you just don't, the attention's not there. This is an actual institution in Colorado. He joins us now. Good morning, Wayne. Thanks for joining the Jeff and Bill Show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, Wayne, first of all, give folks your background. When did you purchase the gun room, and why did you decide to go buy a gun shop?
I know, right? In Colorado, you would think I needed help. No, it's almost 4 years at the end of this month that we purchased. I've been self-employed, had a construction company, and it just it was time to do something else, something to use my mind more than my body, and found this shop for sale, and it worked out really well, and it's been a fun but very challenging 4 years.
Yeah, tell us about that, because I imagine this is one of the most regulated industries out there right now.
It is. I mean, how many businesses have the regulation that we do? Yeah. I mean, our paperwork, if it's not perfect, every single transaction. So imagine the quality of employees you need and just the amount of detail you need to run the business. You throw an ATF regulation and now a whole bunch of state stuff, and that seems to be growing the way it seems.
Well, what it seems to me is that folks down at the state capitol don't want guns, and they can't quite get around the Second Amendment, so they try to figure every particular angle they possibly can to make gun ownership more challenging for people that actually want to follow the rules.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, training. You need training for a hunter's education, hunter safety card. Got to go hunting. Oh, but if you need a concealed carry permit, that's separate training. And now in August, we're going to have different training to even buy a semi-automatic handgun or rifle with a detachable magazine. None of the trainings help you with the other trainings. If they wanted to help us, if they truly cared about our industry, at least let the trainings apply.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's fine to have training. I encourage training. Yeah. But this isn't a car where you're required to do certain things. This is Second Amendment. Mm-hmm. This is guaranteed that we should have the ability to own a firearm.
Well, and people look at our constitutional rights the wrong way. They look at it as a positive rights when it's actually a negative rights. So what does that mean? It basically means that your rights don't come from government, right? So they think like the government gives you permission, for instance, to own a weapon. It's not how the Constitution's set up. God is the one who said human beings have the right to defend themselves with guns. That's where the Second Amendment comes from. The beginning of the Declaration of Independence, that our rights are given to us by God, and that governments are set up to secure these rights.
Yes, that's how it should be. It's the Second Amendment, not the 10th, not the 15th. Right after freedom of speech, we get the ability to protect ourselves.
Well, when I look out on society and I look at policy almost mathematically, I go, there's 3 different types of segments of population that are going to own a gun. Criminals, right? Because they'll just grab one, steal one to be able to advance their criminal enterprise or to protect themselves in the midst of their criminal enterprises. So criminals will get a gun. The government is going to get a gun. They're going to make sure that they are well armed.
Of course.
And since the founding of this country. And then you have everybody else in the middle. And what frustrates me is that everything that comes from the Capitol seems to be geared towards how do we make it as hard as possible for those people in the middle to be able to get a gun. I don't see a lot of legislation attacking criminal gun ownership. And if you do get caught with a gun, weak DAs and judges are going to let you out relatively quickly. There's never any discussion whatsoever on how to reduce gun ownership from the government side. It just happens to be those folks in the middle.
Right.
Talk to us about that.
It's a challenging situation. I mean, guns require background checks. We're already clarifying that people can and should have a gun. They're not doing anything to stop the parking lot sales. In fact, they're encouraging that by making it gun shows. You can't even be in there without an FFL now. You can't be an individual trying to sell your guns. They're making it harder to have a transaction that's legal in Colorado, and it forces people to do stuff that maybe they wouldn't. And of course, we all know that the criminals they're finding their guns. I mean, rarely are we getting traces from the ATF from criminals. It's criminal activity that people find themselves in. But it's odd that they're not focusing on how to keep guns out of those hands.
Yeah. And I imagine what you do with the gun room is a tremendous amount of background checks, paperwork, everything's got to be right. And as you mentioned, the state is following that. I just find that fascinating. State's like, okay, we're going to follow all this. Did you dot the I? Did you cross the T? Oh, the guy in the parking lot buying the gun illegally? Oh, we're not so focused on that. But you, Wayne, you got to make sure. I mean, is that the experience?
That's pretty much it. I mean, we are the first line of defense. I mean, absolutely. If the legislators would come to us and say, hey, how can we do better at keeping guns out of the wrong hands? You know, we're there. We're the ones turning down straw purchases, people trying to buy guns for other people. It happens regularly. They get kicked out. We report it to the state and the feds.
Do they do anything?
The ATF will from time to time.
The state? You don't hear much from them?
We report. We're required to report to them. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what they do with the information. Yeah. But they're not a legal entity, legal enforcement entity. They have to refer. Yeah. Department of Revenue does not go knock on doors and see if you purchased your gun legally.
That's Wayne with the Gun Room. Go to denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com. Wayne, talk to us about your store. I loved, Billy, I was in there, and they had dueling pistols, which I felt, and they were from like the 1700s, dueling pistols, the ones where you know, did you ever watch the movie The Skulls, where there's the duel at the end there? But I felt like that would not be a good addition to this show. Maybe not a good anniversary gift to you, Mr. Thorpe, to give you dueling pistols.
It's odd how much Wayne keeps coming back to this dueling pistols thing. Sometimes it makes me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can't help you, Bill.
Well, this sucks.
Tell us about your store. You got wood. You've got 1,000 firearms. It's beautiful in there. It is like classic Colorado. I love it.
No, it's great. We don't have a lot of plastic. I enjoy the older guns. We purchase collections all the time. In fact, I was in Broomfield yesterday, picked up 98 firearms from a family. A family member had passed, and it's a lot of collectible stuff. Old Winchester lever actions and Colt single action armies. So we tend to specialize in the stuff that you just don't see at a gun shop. You see them in museums.
That is cool.
So.
And that makes you different than the big box stores, because right there, all that stuff's kind of newly produced and, as you mentioned, very plastic. You get back to real Western roots.
Yeah, we want the old stuff. Stuff that people come in and they have never seen it before.
That is cool. You got to go to denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com, 1595 Carr Street in Lakewood. They're open Monday through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they treat you well there. That was the other thing that I really noticed getting a chance to meet you was, while I'm a big Second Amendment proponent, because I understand it's not about hunting, and it's not really even about self-defense, it's about a check on government tyranny and reminding where our rights come from. And but I'm not a big gun guy, in the sense that, like, if you ask me about a caliber, meh, or what this particular gun does or that type of gun does, I'm more in it for the philosophy side of it. But I do enjoy shooting guns, absolutely. But I always feel a little out of place sometimes when I walk into a gun shop, because I'm not into all the details. And the thing that you really pointed out is, like, you love when people like me come in and we don't have all the answers, and you like helping people. Talk to us about that.
You know, before I bought this shop, I'd never felt comfortable walking in a gun shop. Truly. I was like you. I was a mild collector, had guns, and hunted, had a lot of knowledge, but felt inferior in some ways. You walk in and you're just inundated. And a lot of shops just make you feel like you're out of place. And that was the first thing I wanted to implement was, hey, we greet people. We teach, we train, we welcome, especially those that are new to the industry or uncomfortable. And give a tour of the shop and go through what we do to help the community.
That's Wayne with the Gun Room. Go to denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com. To that point, I noticed there's a lot of people, in light of some of the anti-ICE rallies, going, maybe I finally understand what that Second Amendment's all about. And the idea we need to be a check on government and stuff. And I was watching the Reddit threads of a bunch of progressives going, I need to buy a gun now. I need to buy a gun. I think you'd be happy to help them explore what the Second Amendment really means for the first time, right?
Absolutely. Last week we had someone in and was talking about that. I believe that was a driving force for that individual. First gun purchase, walked him through and trained and taught basics, and sold that individual a handgun.
There you go. And I'm
hey, we'll welcome anybody.
Yeah, right.
But obviously we want people that are going to do the right things, and our platform is train and be responsible.
Now, that's Wayne Price, president of the Gun Room, joining Jeff and Bill live. I got a phone call off air. And talking about doing things right, the caller had a question about your knowledge on the rules, laws, and procedures of intra-family transfers of firearms. What does someone have to do if they're trying to, give the gun or transfer ownership between one member of the family to another?
Yeah, that is a good question. And Colorado laws are pretty strict in that. For the most part, you are able to, without a background check, transfer a firearm to your immediate family. That would be father to son, son to father, mom, that household. Anything outside of that, if I want to give my cousin one of my guns, it's no different than selling Jeff one or Bill one. I'd have to take them to an FFL, and they would have to do the transfer, so the receiving individual would have to do the background check.
Wow. So even like grandparents to grandson, if they're not living in the house.
That's how I interpret the law, and we, obviously we're not attorneys. We try to refer back. So we keep things pretty tight, and we don't often give legal advice. Yeah. I don't want to get in trouble.
Right. That's Wayne with the Gun Room. Go to denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com if you want to learn more about his shop. I do want to talk about new people coming in, particularly women coming in and exploring gun purchase for the first time. I imagine this can seem like a big mountain to climb if you're a woman out there. How do you help women explore training and buying their first self-defense weapon?
it's wonderful to work with first-time buyers, especially women, because their knowledge, generally they're fearful. They're scared to walk in the shop. So, but a word of caution is we have a lot of women coming in to buy a gun for their husband who can't. So we really have to sniff that out. So we ask questions. If we hand them a gun and they hold it like they're afraid to touch it, they don't know how to hold a handgun, you kind of the red flags start coming up. So for women, it's obviously something where you need to be open with us, what your intentions are, who's the gun for, and then we kind of move forward from there. So unfortunately, we've had a complaint because we didn't treat someone just right, but we had to ask certain questions. And that's where it goes back to where you were saying, with all the paperwork and all the people looking at every one of our transactions, if we sell someone a gun who intends to give it to someone else, we're supposed to figure that out. We're supposed to know that.
You're an important first line of defense on that. One of my favorite quotes of all time: God didn't make men equal, Samuel Colt did. We'll get to this and more. Plus, I'm going to ask him about some laws that have been introduced just this week, some new requirements for firearm dealers, and how that may impact you directly and your firearms. Will continue. More of the Jeff and Bill Show coming up. News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show.
News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. Live in studio with us is Wayne from the Gun Room. The Gun Room, you got to go to denvergunroom.com. denvergunroom.com. This is like old school Colorado. It reminds me of when I walk into the Buckhorn Exchange, where you're like, oh, like this is what the state used to be like.
And Jeff keeps asking Wayne, the president of the Gun Room in the studio with us, about the dueling pistols they have there, and he keeps making me incredibly uncomfortable.
Bill,
really
but with duels, it was a fair shot. It was a fair shot. I'm not going to hit you from behind.
The problem
or
is
anything
this,
like
though. Here's the problem, though, is that, see, and Wayne can verify this. Jeff is in shape. I'm in shape, but I'm round. Round as a shape, but that I'm just a larger target. I am at a tremendous disadvantage here. He has much more to aim at, and I find that offensive. It's my fault, but still.
Yeah, well, that's part of it.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
But, you know, there's just so much that builds up 2 years into this radio show, you know, you need to release.
I'm still getting uncomfortable.
denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com. All right, new bill introduced this week, House Bill 261126, requirements for firearms dealers. Oh, boy, did you get a chance to look at this bill, Wayne?
I have. It's interesting. You know, this they started the state requirements last year that went into effect, and our expectations were that more things would come down the pipes for sure. It's not surprising, but yeah, this bill is. I call it the no more mom and pop shop bill, because it really is going to cause a lot of the real small operations huge expense in security and things that the ATF thinks is fine. We're not having thefts from firearm dealers in Colorado. When's the last one you've heard of? Yeah. A lot of shops are really taking precautions to protect their buildings and their inventory, but this one's scary because it says the bill permits the Department of Revenue to fine a dealer up to $100,000 for a second or subsequent violation of certain dealer requirements. They're not even telling you which ones are the most important. So any error that you have in your paperwork, second time, $100,000. That's the way I'm reading
that
it.
would put you out of business.
Put all the small shops, like the big boxes you're talking about, they got the money.
Right.
They can withstand. So if you like your small shops, we need to speak out against this.
Yeah. Wow. Have you ever gone down to testify?
I have.
Yeah.
Last year.
Oh, good. Good for you. So this one may get you down there again, huh?
It might. I mean, it does fall on deaf ears. I mean, the committees that hear these are 5-2 or whatever. The votes are just, we need people to go to the ballot box and switch some seats is what we need.
That's exactly right. That's been one of the most fascinating changes in Colorado I've noticed. In 2013, if you even hinted that you were going to restrict Second Amendment rights, they got recalled. You remember this in Lakewood?
That's right.
And we were known as this kind of great libertarian state, right? The social issues, pro-choice in the state, pro-gay marriage, but we're going to let you have your firearms and we'll keep the taxes low. Now it's just deep blue. Now it's just a whole progressive agenda of making sure that the only people that have guns are criminals and the government has totally taken hold. And you're right. You go down there and you try to talk to them about the challenge this is going to be, and they don't care.
They don't. Yeah. It's clear they want us out of business.
I think that's exactly right. Bill, you had some questions for Wayne.
Yeah, what I want to ask Wayne Price, president of the Gun Room, is I want to go back to your childhood, and let's sit down and talk. No, I'm kidding. What I want to talk about is the guns and the things that got you interested in firearms as a kid. The reason I ask this is I was a huge Lone Ranger fan. I was working with a 6-shooter, and I could do all the little fancy tricks and everything else, and I fell in love with that Western type of idea, especially growing up in Colorado. You felt like, some days, you could almost see those cowboys coming down the road as you're goofing off with your friends in the dirt roads. So as a kid, what were those firearms that you goofed around with? What was it that kind of got you interested as a kid?
It was my grandfather. Got into hunting pretty young, and my first rifle was a Winchester 94 lever action.
Ooh, lever action.
Because that's what he had. And I shot my first deer with that gun. And that has turned into a love of lever actions, especially the older Winchesters from the early 1900s. And then I shot a lot of trap in high school. A great uncle of mine was a champion shooter, would go down. This was in North Dakota, so he'd spend the winters in Arizona shooting trap. So during the summers, I would work, set the clays back in the day when you didn't have automatic machines, and then I got to shoot and do some tournaments. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, now let's stay in that mode of back in the day for a moment. What is some of the gun technology that you have seen us get away from that you wish that some manufacturers would still embrace? I'm thinking about the lever action. What are some other things, because technology is always moving forward? For me, I lament the loss of the manual transmission in automobiles. I think that's fantastic. So what is something that is aging out of the firearms realm that you wish someone would hang on to?
Wow, that's a great question. So I believe that technology in firearm making truly hasn't evolved a bunch over the years. I mean, you can look at guns. The lever actions of the late 1800s operate very similar to the new ones today. So a lot of that original design has been kept. You've heard that they've tried to put fingerprinting on guns, or trying to limit who could use a firearm, and a lot of that technology just has not been realized. And I think rightly so, because it's hard to say if your finger is wet, fingerprint might not work, and is your firearm going to operate? So I think there's been a lot of pushback to technology in firearms from the industry.
That's good. Now, what do you think is something that is a huge misconception about people that are firearms enthusiasts? Because in my social circle, I've got people that are tremendous hunters and great outdoorsmen and huge Second Amendment supporters, and then other people that are on the complete other opposite of that spectrum, thinking there's no reason in the world anybody should ever want to own or have a gun, and that they're so dangerous. And in fact, that group sometimes looks at people that own several guns as being the problem that is created by society. So what is something that, given your time as president of the gun room, that you feel is the biggest misconception held by those that are outside of the firearms community?
I feel a lot of it is what a true collector is. If you have 25 guns or more at home, you have a lot of firearms. Well, when you look at some of the older things and what people truly are collecting, if someone says they have 50 guns, some of these firearms are like pieces of art. I have a lot of customers that come in and they have hundreds of guns at home, and they are looking for specific things. They collect certain types of guns. You don't hear of people collecting ARs. You don't hear of people collecting Glocks. You get a Glock, you have a couple Glocks, you use it for self-defense, and then you move on. But no, we do have a lot of collectors that buy a lot of guns, and these aren't for self-defense. These are for investment purposes or because they look pretty. Put it up on the wall.
That's what I need to tell my wife. I'm a collector of snakes.
Yep.
It's not a weird obsession that everybody should be afraid of. It's a collection that I should be proud of.
Snakes.
Thank you, sir. You've helped me with the next argument my wife is going to have with me about my snakes. Appreciate
Wayne's
you.
just learning us about it.
I know. He has no idea what he walked into.
Colt has a snake line of firearms, of revolvers. So
They
They're really
do?
cool. Yes, they do. They're really cool.
That is cool.
There was a Viper in our collection we picked up yesterday, a Colt Viper. They're pretty rare.
DenverGunroom.com, Bill. DenverGunroom.com. Go check out the gunroom at 1595 Carr Street in Lakewood. And we've got to wrap with him because he's got to get to appointments. He's very helpful joining us today. But Wayne, last thing, people do have a gun collection. Maybe a family member passes away. I know you guys can handle this with care. Talk briefly about that.
We love to step in when you have that type of challenge. Sometimes you find out that your grandfather had more guns than you thought, and sometimes it's just too much to handle. Knowing what to do, and especially in Colorado, how to legally take care of the collection. So that's where we step in. We can come to your house if necessary. Like I said, we did that yesterday. And we really do help as much as we can. We can consign them, or we can just write a check, whatever works best.
So you got that service, plus you walk into a gun shop for the very first time. Wayne's going to answer questions for you. And if you're a pro looking for that next art piece to add to your collection, go to denvergunroom.com, denvergunroom.com. Wayne with the Gunroom. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, he'll be our go-to for all things Second Amendment as well. So hope to have him back in anything that the Second Amendment community is facing. Wayne from the Gunroom is the pro. You got to go check him out, denvergunroom.com. We'll continue. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. All on the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show.
enjoying my beaver nuggets. Hanging out with my friends who own gun shops. I have an awesome job. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, I know. This is cool. Yeah. Shout out for free beaver nuggets today. That was wonderful. KPP rolling through the Buc-ee's yesterday and dropped that by the studio. We love you guys. You're wonderful.
News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. Thank you so much for getting up with us today, guys.
All along the Front Range, we are the Jeff and Bill Show. First week, wrapping up as we were broadcasting down in Colorado Springs. Thank you to all the listeners jumping in on the text message, the new listeners from the Springs.
We heard from a
us.
bunch of you. Calls, on air, off air, lots of text messages. Thank you so much. We appreciate the time. And I know that it's probably going to be me many times with y'all in Springs that I'm going to annoy you. Just wait a couple minutes. Jeff will say something. You'll agree with it. But more than anything else, spend time with us. Understand what we're doing. And this is about a conversation. This isn't about many of the other shows out there that talk at you. We're not here to make speeches. We are here to engage. And more than any other show out there, we're here to listen to you. We're here to listen. We'll have conversations with you on air, off air, through the text messages. We just want to hear what you're thinking. You're that important to us. And thanks for spending any time that you can afford to spend with us any day of the week. We appreciate it.
Glad to have you with us. By the way, this is an important weekend. Do want to make this announcement. Protect Kids Colorado out there doing the 3 petitions. One to protect children from sex trafficking. The second one to protect children from irreversible sex change procedures. And then the third one, protecting girls' single-sex sports and locker rooms. I have signed all 3 of those petitions. Those have to be turned in very, very soon here. So if you haven't had a chance to sign and be a part of this effort to get those on the ballot this November, you got to go this weekend, right now, to protectkidscolorado.org, protectkidscolorado.org. Join our good friend Aaron Lee and so many others that are trying to get these petitions signed. This is it. Really, we're up against it. I think the deadline is mid-February here, so you got to get those signatures in. And they do these signing events, so you can drive up and sign. They'll be doing it this weekend, Centennial, Woodland Park. Just go to protectkidscolorado.org, Protect Kids Colorado. They'll be out in Grand Junction, Pueblo, all over. So go check them out and get your signatures in for Protect Kids Colorado. All right, Billy.
Yes.
Monday, we are going to have Justin Folk with us.
Ooh.
Remember
that's
Justin?
Cool. Yeah,
Justin, the director. He lives here in Highlands Ranch, directed What is a Woman and Am I Racist? These hilarious conservative movies. Typically, conservative movies and hilarious don't go together.
Yeah.
Because we're dorky. And we are like, technically, let me talk to you about tax policy.
Technically, the chicken wouldn't have to cross the road. It would be able to.
So he comes out of kind of the Beastie Boys MTV era and makes really funny documentaries, some of the top grossing documentaries of all time. He's incredibly creative.
Now, why is he joining us post-Super Bowl?
Well, he has a Super Bowl ad he did himself that became one of the most viral Super Bowl ads of all time.
Now talk about how he created this and what the entry was, because this was a special year for Super Bowl ads.
Yeah, it was a contest.
Yes, it was a contest. So talk about it.
So he competed in the Doritos contest. They used to do these. I don't think they do them anymore.
No.
But you would submit your ad to Doritos, and then the one that won, out of all the ads they got, got put on the Super Bowl. And if you remember, it was the kid who's eating a Doritos chip on top of a place.
Yeah,
like
a play
jungle
structure.
gym. Yeah, play structure. And his little brother sitting in a swing.
Yep, in kind of like a bouncer swing.
Yep.
Remember those? You can bounce up and down in his kids.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I think it's grandma or grandpa pulls him back and slingshots the kid forward, who then grabs the Dorito chip out of the hand of the older brother and swings back. And I think grandma and the little toddler bite into the chip and have fun. Yes, exactly.
Now, remember, this is just on a side note. Remember, we're talking about, AI coming in and taking your jobs. This was Doritos' idea years ago to outsource their creativity and make you do it, and then they take credit.
So,
but it wants his career.
Anytime you watch best Super Bowl clips of all time,
it's always there.
It's always featured as one of them. Well, he was the director of that. Justin will be in studio with us Monday to critique the Super Bowl ads this year.
Yes,
so,
I'm going to focus on AI slop. What did you think of that?
So you have homework. You have some homework assignments. One, tell us about the halftime show. Which one did you like? Which one was better? And then two, what was your favorite ad out there? We're going to discuss all of that on Monday.
And you know me, I want to know your worst ad, too. What would you not like?
Yes, exactly. All right. Monday, Jeff and Bill Show will be back. News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now proudly on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. You've got your Super Bowl homework. What halftime show did you watch? You got to let us know. And your best and worst commercial. We'll catch you Monday.